The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond, got my days free and my nights long. I create my own reality, who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be, who I am is fine with me. It's who I am, it's who I am, who I am is fine with me.
Coming in. There we are. Hey, everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? So if you hear that sound, that means it's Tuesday night, and it's our show. So we want to welcome you. We have a lot of people that come back week after week, and we really appreciate our regulars so much. Jay Rivera has joined us. Hi, Jay. Richard Koch has joined us. Annette Zito has joined us. Chris DePiero. Chris DePiero, I saw that you were just Facebook Living. You're everywhere. John Bronson has joined us. John's going to be calling in at about 9:10. Hi, says Richard to both of us. This is my co-host tonight, Judy Mesa, also Judy Mesa. So if you see that name, that's Judy. Okay, so we got a lot of people that are going to be coming in tonight, and a lot that's going on. And we're going to cover a lot of territory, and Judy is going to give us a ton of information. John is going to call in. We also have someone calling in for represent.us, which Ellen from represent.us. She'll tell you all about that. So, but we do want to welcome you to What's the Story with Maria. We are on Armed Radio. Go to that page, go to the Armed Radio page and like them, because they have a lot of shows and we're just one of them. So we want to thank Jimmy. He's our producer and engineer tonight, and he gets us on the radio every week, and we'd be lost without Jimmy. So, okay. I want to introduce again to you Judy Mesa, Judy Mesa, and this is something that she had this great idea about, and she, as everybody knows, who knows Judy, she's very passionate about things that she wants to do, and she gets stuff done. So I'm going to just let you start with what's happening and why you wanted to do this, and you tell us as much as you want. Well, it's a benefit. You're doing a benefit that you're producing, executive producing, and you're directing, and it's for a great organization. So do you want to tell us about the benefit first or the organization?
No, I'll just tell you about the organization. So a few months ago, I was just, reading articles and skimming through social media, and I found this video of this organization called Represent Us. And I watched, they have like a 12-minute video that explains their organization and, what they're doing. And so I watched the whole thing, and I was I loved it. Oftentimes I'm not really good at communicating politics because I'm very passionate about it. And then because of that, sometimes I can't really speak with people that have a difference of opinion, or even if or try to educate them, about the subject matter. So I thought to myself, what a great idea would it be if I was able to somehow be a part of something and help this organization, because I really like them. They're not about Democrats or Republicans. They're basically just wanting to change state legislature in an effort to influence federal law. And then in the video, they show you how that throughout history, a lot of times when state legislature changes, eventually it makes a change in federal law. So I said, all right, I'm going to try to put a benefit together, since I know so many musicians and artists that, we can raise money for them and then send it off. So like a day or so later, I was like, well, maybe I should just email the organization and just let them know that this is what I'm doing. And, that I really am thankful to organizations like this that really take control of change. And, that's it. I just wanted to let them know. So I did. I emailed some random email on their website, and they emailed me back. And I was like, oh.
Like right away.
Yeah, they emailed me back. I mean, I basically was it was a very passionate, everything I write is filled with emotion all of the time, even in school. Like I always find a way to input, my own opinions, even if the assignment is don't give your own opinions. I'm like, well, I can't.
Facts,
I don't know how to do that.
Just the facts, man.
So right. So they emailed me back, and then and they've been so great, and they're actually, some of them are actually coming to the benefit.
And
which
one
is
of
really
them
awesome.
is calling in tonight.
One of them is calling in
9:30.
tonight, yes, at 9:30 to give you more about the
cause. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and read what. So a lot of people. Let me just interrupt you for a second. Rory Taggart has joined us from Canada. Jeffrey Campbell has joined us. Isabella Roskowski, that's my cousin Marisa. Marisa, you would love this organization that you was talking about.
Would, Marissa, actually.
Kenny Green, we love Kenny Green. Leo Rodriguez, who thank you, Leo, for all the stuff that you post. Leo is amazing.
Leo did my first promo. He put the first poster together.
Leo's incredible.
When I first started doing this, and then actually Represent Us did a poster for a promo poster for me and sent it to me.
Amazing.
Really cool.
Rena Cornali, Massachusetts.
Hi, Rena.
Chris DePiero. Ed Kutu, he's out in Rocky Hill, Connecticut at Blade Salon.
Wait, you're going too fast.
Brendan Ryan, Captain Brendan Ryan.
I wanted to see that comment up there.
Which one? Okay, Jeffries?
No. It's hard when you are always right. Exactly. I mean, I feel,
can't fight it anymore.
I feel that way, Jeffrey. But I mean, apparently, I can't. I just am. I'm not a good person to give. Yeah, I can't.
You get impassioned. We're gonna call it impassioned.
Yeah.
But you are sometimes.
Anyway, it's turned out to be such a great thing, and
it's gonna be amazing. So John is gonna call in and talk about the music end of it. So,
John is my musical director. And by the way, I put this together in like 5 seconds.
Well, what did I say when you called me?
Hold on.
I said you're never going to be able to put this together.
Always.
That's what I
have
said.
to say Maria is not the person to go to when you want to do something really big in one day. Because she'll be like, no, it's impossible. And I'm like,
not going to happen. But she did it.
But it's great. I love when people
but you know what I was going to say? I'm kind of good for you in that way because then you want to prove me wrong and you go.
I'm just
you do
like,
it anyway. Well, you do your own thing. You don't need me to prove you wrong. But anyway, so what attracted me about this organization that Judy was telling me about, and then I watched the video, is exactly what you said. It's not about Democrats or Republicans. Because I think what's happened in the last few years is that we've really divided, which is so sad. Because like Marisa and I were talking about this, that it didn't used to be like that when we were kids at all. It was about like these local communities that really cared about each other and helped each other out. You didn't even really know. Hi, Suzanne Mason's joined us. Who was Republican or who was Democrat? You just kind of pulled together.
Hi, Melissa.
And so Melissa Driscoll's joined us. So I really like that about them. And and
I don't know. Sometimes I think, going back to what you said, sometimes I think that, maybe it was always like this. It was just hidden. And I want to say that maybe I tend to like that a little more because, I mean, politics is politics and it's a little, creepy, but it's all in your face like this. It's like,
John Bronson's calling in. Okay. Hi, John.
Hello, Maria.
How are you, sweetheart?
Hi, John.
I am great.
Now, I'm going to ask you to just raise your voice a little bit, honey, because I got 2 microphones that I have to get you into. So...
I will do my very best.
Okay, so this is John Bronston, everybody. If you don't know John Bronston, he's an incredible human being that just happens to be very, very musically talented. He's a musical director, a teacher. He plays piano bars and does a bunch of great things. But one of the things that people don't always know about John, because he doesn't always toot his own horn, is that he really is an amazing musical director, putting together arrangements and all kinds of things. So, John... Judy and you have been working together to put this benefit on its feet. Now, would you please tell our radio and Facebook listeners what you've been doing now with the band? Tell us who's in the band, how many pieces, because this is very impressive.
Yeah, before you start, John, I just want to also mention that I said, I when I first started planning this, I said to Maria, I want instruments. She's like, no, it's okay. We can just get one keyboard. The keyboard can play all the instruments.
No.
And I'll just,
what I said was you get keyboard 2, you have
Right.
a regular piano and a keyboard 2 to simulate. Well, anyway.
No.
So
I
she's
want an
very
instrument.
Barbara Streisand, and she said, "You know that putting it together, John. That in putting it together, and the guy goes, the producer goes, do we really need all these instruments?
No, do we really need all these musicians?
And Barbara Streisand goes, yes, we
we
do. So poor John. Anyway, John, tell us. Go ahead. Let's let John talk. Go ahead, John. Tell us what you got.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. It's going to be a 5 band, and they're spectacular musicians. So I've been writing arrangements for the full band. So there are 5 performers as singers in the cast of this show, and 5 musicians as well. So there'll be a full group of 10 performers. So I'll be playing keys. I have through Judy. I met an amazing drummer named Willie Martinez.
I love Willie Martinez. He's going to be on the show soon.
Yes, he's a great musician, and he's played everywhere. He played every place from Carnegie Hall to CBGB's back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just a great musician. A really good friend of mine who is a singer-songwriter who's based out of Connecticut. His name is James Zapp, and he'll be playing guitar with us on this. He and I performed in a show together as musicians for 6 months, I believe, in Florida a few years ago.
Great.
And we've worked together several times since then. He's also a recording engineer.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, he's a brilliant musician. The cellist we just hired.
You said the cellist?
The cellist, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. There's a cello, too?
Yeah, there's a cellist, and she was just recently playing in the pit of the musical Out of My Heart, the new musical by Duncan Sheik that was at NCP Theater.
Wow.
So Duncan Sheik wrote Spring Awakening, and his stuff is very pop-based with string instruments, so she was a great choice for me to get a hold of, and it's a real coup that we managed to get her for this. And then, just to give the whole thing some color, I have a great friend named Gary, and he plays basically every instrument under the sun.
Wow.
He plays the trumpet, the trombone. He plays the baritone and the tuba. He plays all the saxophones. He plays the clarinet. He plays the flute and the piccolo.
Oh, my goodness.
He plays literally almost every instrument ever. He's also a brilliant singer. He's been in 5 Broadway shows as an actor.
Wow.
Yeah, he was just in the Carousel Revival. He's been in Phantom of the Opera. He was in Bronx Tale. He was in Sing's musical The Last Ship. And so he's going to be playing a whole bunch of instruments for this gig. And it's great that we were able to lock him down because he's in rehearsal for Beauty and the Beast at Signal Playhouse right now.
Wow, this is incredible. So you had to write all the arrangements. Is that correct, John?
Oh, well, I'm in the middle of writing all those arrangements.
Well, yeah,
So,
but you're the one doing
the
it.
arrangements will be finished up by Thursday, and that's what will get them. It's really exciting. And the work on this was really exciting and thrilling just to get to do it. Because it's very rare that these benefits that you get a band this size.
Yeah.
And especially rare to get musicians of this caliber.
Right. Well, that's what I was telling Judy. I said, this is going to be almost impossible to do. And she said, no, I'm going to get this done. And the two of you, I mean, see, I'm more of I don't know about that. That's going to be hard to do. That's kind of the way that I do things. Like I'm more of a realist that way. And Judy's just like dreams very big and acts big and gets it done. And you have been incredible. And today I heard you had a wonderful rehearsal together.
Yeah, we've been rehearsing, with the group and with Judy, and the vocal arrangement, because it's a really thrilling vocal opening that we are doing.
I can't wait. I'm going to study tomorrow. John also sent us.
Yeah, so everybody got their arrangements, and so we'll be rehearsing this, this next week to put all of this together. But it's going to be really exciting. And
Yeah.
it's really thrilling to hear all these pieces come together.
I'm excited about it, and I get so nervous because there's a lot going on. However, what I was telling Judy is one of the things about like those of us that have been doing this for a while, we can never get together. It's like almost impossible to get everybody in the same room at the same time. So what John has done, which is incredible, is he's emailed us all the arrangements and parts, and so we learn them individually, and then we come together for one big rehearsal, and we do it. And that's always been like kind of the way we do it. It's impressive, but the arranger has to know what he or she is doing, and you really do, John. And I appreciate all your know-how and your expertise and your creativity.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's really exciting and fun for me. I've worked for a long time as a vocal arranger, and I've worked as well as an orchestrator, and it's really exciting to get to do both those projects, so both those pieces of it on one project. It's a little crazy as well because of the short time frame, but if I'm going to do something, I'm going to go all the way.
Yeah, well, you and Judy are very compatible in that way. So
Maria, you are like that as well. Otherwise, you would not have been able to create this amazing radio show that's been going nonstop for how long?
This is our 95th episode, John. Thank you. I appreciate your vote of confidence. And I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So thank you, honey. Well,
I enjoy being a guest on your show, and I enjoy getting to hear it every week as well.
Yeah, we were trying to get John here, but he lives a little bit far out, and he was teaching today and has an early morning. So we really appreciate you calling in, John, and we'll keep you posted on lots of things that John is doing. But this particular event that Judy is producing and directing, and John Bronston is musically directing, doing all the arrangements, vocal arrangements, everything, is May 17th, Friday, May 17th, 9:30 at the Triad on 72nd Street. So we'll fill everybody in on that. John, can't thank you enough. Judy, did you want to add anything?
Thank you so much, John, and I'll see you on Sunday.
Yes. I can't wait to see everybody and have everybody in the room together.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Love you, and love to Frank.
Love you too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sweetheart. Okay. John Bronson, extraordinary talent and human being. All right. Let's check in with some of our people. At 9:30, we have the Represent.us people calling in. Now, Judy, give them the details of how they can get tickets to this. Here, I have it right here.
No, I was going to say
whatever you want to talk about. You want to check?
Maybe I have a link, but I obviously I don't have it with me. So but you can go to the triadnyc.com and then go to May 17th and purchase tickets that way.
Right. We'll add the link to everything that we post. But also, so the Triad, if you've never been there, let's say you haven't been to the Triad.
I've never been to the Triad.
It's a great space. And they have been wonderful. And who's the guy that you were talking to yesterday who runs everything? Gene?
Yes.
Oh, what an amazing guy.
Yeah, he was wonderful.
Wonderful. Oh, who is this? This might be, are they calling from Massachusetts maybe? Okay, let's answer it and see who it is. Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Is this Ellen?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Hi,
my
Ellen.
goodness, how exciting. So, Ellen, my name is Maria Gentili. I'm a friend of Judy's, and I have a radio show called What's the Story with Maria. Goes across.
Hey, Maria.
Hi, honey. It goes across the country. And then, so now we're broadcasting live, and also we are Facebook Living. So thank you for calling in, and just tell us your name and tell us, what you do as much as you want to tell us about your organization.
All right. Well, thank you for this opportunity, Judy. So great to quote see you. My name is Ellen Morehouse. I'm the Grassroots Communications Manager with Represent Us. Represent Us is a national, nonpartisan group. We work to link together people from all across the country working on anti-corruption reforms in cities and states across the U.S. So my job working with the communications team is really to link our people, the grassroots stories, the grassroots leaders all across the country to our headquarters, no matter what the need. If it's got something to do with press or spokesperson training, I'm your girl, and I love it. I can't get enough of the personal stories of people doing the work in the field.
That's great. And how long has your organization been active? Because I had never heard about it until Judy turned me on to it. So
I think it's great. We've been active since 2012.
Wow. I didn't realize that. And you are located in Massachusetts right now?
Correct. Yes, I am.
That's where I grew up, so I have a special love for that state.
Oh, which part? Do you mind me asking?
I don't mind at all. I grew up in the North End of Boston, and then we moved out to the North Shore, right near Tufts College, Medford, Somerville line, and then Stoneham. And my whole family is in Massachusetts on the North Shore.
Wow, that's great. I'm actually here in Western Mass, believe it or not.
Yeah, wow.
Just a little bit outside of Boston, but everybody loves to come check out our leads. So it's a win-win situation in my book.
Absolutely. So if people want to know more about your organization, what is the best way for them to educate themselves?
So definitely you'd want to check out our website, represent.us. But actually a more prominent piece of content I think people would really enjoy is our most recent short film. It's with Jennifer Lauren and our co-founder and director, Josh Silver. And it's a 12-minute short film that really dives deep into what we're facing with our broken election system and some pretty tangible solutions for solving them. So they sort of cross the gamut of policy recommendations, ranked choice voting and anti-gerrymandering reform, maybe sort of fighting for more electoral reform, as well as more tangible things like campaign finance reform and ethics and transparency laws and reforms. So working to make sure that the average American knows who is behind the influence that is being bought.
Right. So that's the video that I first watched and I loved because I feel like it's in very basic terms for people that really just want something easy to understand. And I was talking before about that video and saying that like I'm not always the reason I got so motivated to help you is because I'm so passionate about politics that I'm often not the right person to be able to communicate to people the right things in order for them to receive that information correctly, because I just end up getting too impassionate and yelling. So I said, well, I mean, I want to be a part of something that that helps, because you know it's really like in my blood. And I saw your video, or that 12-minute video, and I thought, this is perfect. This is exactly how I feel, and this is exactly where I'm at. And the best thing to do is just to be a part of the solution, is just to try to put something together to raise money for this organization. And this way I feel like I've been a part of something.
Well, Judy, we couldn't be more grateful. And I think you really touched on something there that really, like, the average American is pretty fed up with corruption, right? Like, voters aren't being fooled anymore. We're aware of what's wrong. You know, we're prioritizing to fix it. And honestly, this like political system's failure isn't serving anybody.
Neither side. It's not serving either side.
They've rigged the system for their own interest. So if we can focus on tangible policy solutions that chip away at that, you know, we need to be able to actually act on the issues that voters care about. From healthcare to education, environment, waste, you know, you name it, every issue we care about is blocked by corruption.
Right.
And we're not making any progress.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, we agree with you, and we thank you so much. And we're so glad that we know about you now. And
Ellen, I actually have one more question. If people want to donate to the organization, but they're not coming to the show, because I'm getting a lot of that, where is the best way? Because there's 2 chapters, right? There's also something that you do, something else that you do with education, correct?
Yes, definitely. So we have several different platforms at which you can get involved. So if you want to connect with us online, you can join our Discord channel, which is an online organizing platform where leaders from across the country connect and learn best practices, and really sort of share information about how we're organizing in different states, because what matters to each state is different. Now, if you want to join and connect, that's more your time to me, time, talent, and treasure. So if you've got talent, you're an organizer, we want to know how you're doing it, how we can support. And of course, as Judy said, to donate. You know, you can head right to represent.us/donate. We have a monthly giving program that we call the Common Will, that goes directly to supporting local anti-corruption campaigns on the ground. So you can join not only, you know, with your monetary donations, but also in a learning capacity, like Judy suggested. So we have National Calling Out Corruption Night, where we phone bank and lead texts into different states facing different challenges. Right now, we're working with chapter leaders in New Jersey. There's a bill to disclose dark money on the desk of the New Jersey governor. And the last few weeks, we've been working with volunteers across the country who have been supporting the grassroots efforts in New Jersey, calling in and leaving voice notes for the governor, encouraging him to sign this important bill before the deadline. So, you know, if you have time, we need your charm. If you've got talent, treasure, whatever it takes, this movement will really take all of us giving our little part.
Well, okay, so Ellen, I want to ask you that. Last thing you were talking about, we have a lot of friends and listeners in New Jersey. So they want to call the governor's office and they want to ask,
Encourage them to sign S1500, S1500, dark money disclosure bill, revealing the political influence behind who's purchasing advertisements and donating to political campaigns.
This is amazing.
That's awesome. Okay.
That is great. We just want to get the information.
That's one example of all the different cities and states fighting for electoral reforms, campaign finance reforms, you name it. New Jersey has been one of our most long-standing chapters. And the deadline is actually Monday, believe it or not. So
great.
We urge some volunteers to call in and see if the governor will put his name to that bill and show his support.
Wow,
Awesome.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ellen. I'm looking forward to the show. I hope I can raise a lot of money for you guys, and I'm so excited. And thank you for everything that you're doing.
Judy, we can't thank you enough for what you're doing. I'm sorry I won't see you in New York, but I know we've got staff going out there to support you. So please let us know if we can do anything, share any information. We really think that this is a movement for everyone in America who thinks that we need to come together in a nonpartisan lens with some real common sense solutions to the issues we're facing.
Thank you so much.
And have a wonderful night.
You too.
Thank you. Wow. Here, let me just jump in here for a second. This is what I love. Thank you for bringing this organization. I had no idea about this. Thank you for bringing it to us. And I'll tell you why. When my cousin Marisa was visiting, the three of us were really getting into this. And we all agreed on one thing. I mean, we agreed on almost everything, but the one thing that was really driving it was that we need to bring our country together. Enough with the fighting, enough with the dividing. We all have different ways of looking at things. However, we all want, what we do all have is love of country, and we want the country to succeed. And what this woman was talking about, what you were talking about, was a solution. A solution, living in a solution rather than living in on opposite sides of always fighting. Because there's a lot of things we're not going to agree on, and that's okay. But this is solution-based, and changing legislation state to state is so incredible. Mm-hmm. But you don't always think of it. And what Marisa was saying when she was visiting was exactly that. Act, what is it they say? Act globally, think globally, act locally. Mm-hmm. And you know, she goes to town meetings. A lot of our friends do that. They get involved on local levels. That is the best way to do it. And what I love about this organization, and thank you again, is that it does that. It helps out. It listens to what people's issues are and will help with that. So this particular bill, I didn't even know about it. You live in Jersey. Most of our friends that listen, lots of them live live in Jersey. So this is something we can do. We can be part of it. Instead of just watching the circus on television, there's not much we can do there.
And it really is just so, like, I mean, I think, you know, I get so angry at, you know, at the divisive language that they use, but really that's all it is. Really, it's really just like, okay, guys, it's really just them saying, I'm going to appease. Thank you, Leo, for
Leo posted the video. Thank you. He's the best. Leo's the best.
It's really just them picking, you know, things to rile up everybody's base. So, you know, like today I read something about the governor of Georgia, who he signed something, some anti-abortion law into, or is signing, or something like that. So do you think that this man actually goes home and really has a debate or you know, with his family and friends about abortion? No. He's just doing that because there's people that unfortunately think that that's a thing, and so they're going to vote for him. And even though this particular person, he didn't even win, he cheated his way into. This is Georgia, the one with Stacey Adams.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, it's so corrupt, and it's not working. Like, I am actually, so the things that really matter, like, I am actually so baffled by the fact that people from this administration just are not showing up to Congress, to Congress, to testify or to talk to Congress about whatever investigation is going on. That, to me, is a deep break in the Constitution.
Well,
because,
constitutional crisis is the term they're using.
Yeah, and it could be any administration.
Anybody.
It
doesn't
has
matter
nothing to
what
do
side.
with right. It has nothing to do with it being Trump, or it could have been anyone who just says, "I'm not going." It's like, what
example is that for the rest of us? That I don't have to pay my parking ticket. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that.
I mean, this is on much bigger scale.
No, but I'm saying people on a regular, that seems like a nothing thing, but this is huge. I'm not showing up for court. In everyday life, if you don't show up for court, that's called
contempt.
Right.
You're being held in contempt.
Right.
So,
there's a warrant out for your arrest.
Things like that those are issues. And corruption is the thing. I mean, this video, I found it I took so many important things. It gives you a graph, and it says, there could be 30%. I don't know if I'm saying the percentages right, but it's something along the lines of there could be 30% support for a law, and it's this much percentage that Congress is actually going to vote on it.
Very low,
there could be 100% support for a law, and guess what? The percentage that Congress is going to pass it is the same percentage.
I think it's very low, like 12%.
Yes, no, I don't think it's that low, but it's low, and the reason is because it all has to do with where's the money coming from,
right?
And
exactly.
everyone is purchased. And actually, I just read something the other day about. So now I try to read as much as possible so that I don't just sound like I'm just repeating rhetoric. So I try to read everything. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't read anything that has Fox News on it or Blaze or anything that I know is coming from like crazy, I mean, I basically read like MSNBC stuff or CNN or NBC or CBS or
New York
Times, the Wall Street Journal. I would say I grew up all my life thinking these people had common sense, and I continue to think that they have common sense. And I read so much and I see so much that now I'm able to detect when either side is being
and you're very
political.
Good about both sides, about seeing when both sides. You always say that's going the wrong way, or that's just trying to distract us. That's not true. So you are very good about that. And I want to read what Marisa.
Something like this empowers people. People think, well, what can I do? Sounds like this organization is a path to being able to do something big or small. Agreed.
Absolutely.
Wait, Jill, why did you say Jeep?
Oh, because Jill and I have this, we call each other Jeep. It's a long story. We've been friends for 25 years, and we call each other Jeep. It's a funny joke. I'll tell you later. Okay, now I want you to, we've been talking about this stuff. So Judy has thrown together this benefit, okay? And tell everybody about the benefit, because some people just joined on. So there is a benefit, May 17th. It's a Friday night, not this Friday, but next Friday. Oh my God, it's coming quickly, 10 days from now. And tell everybody about that, your vision and who's in it. And
so
it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so
amazing.
I'm so excited because I really had to beg everyone to do it because it was such short notice.
Julie Angelina from Australia has joined us. Hi, Julie Angelina.
Everyone was so busy, but I'm so glad. I really did get my favorite people to be on the show. Like I love Michael Isaacs is going to be on the show, and in the show, I'm sorry, and he is so talented and so passionate.
Oh my God! About
politically
passionate. Michael Isaacs.
Well, he's passionate about the country.
Yes, yes, that's the way to put it. Absolutely.
And Brooks is going to be on the show.
Brooks
beautiful Decker. Voice and
tenor,
also
perfect.
Very passionate. Shanna Sharp is going to be on the show. Maria is going to be on the show. John Bronston is going to be on the show. We have a full band.
And you are singing, which a lot of people don't know that side of you. They don't. Not everybody knows you sing. Judy has an amazing voice.
So it's going to be fun. I hope that we sell out. I want to raise a lot of money for this organization, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And we want you there. A lot of people have been saying, well, I can't make it that because I'm going to be out of town or whatever, but I want to donate. That is fantastic. And we will, there are many ways to donate, but you can also send a check, right? And you will, that night, we'll just put it in the pile.
Yeah.
And give it to represent.us, .us or .us, whatever they go by. But so that is one way to do it. You can write a check to you.
What happened, Leo? Why did you say, wait, what?
What? Because a lot of people are not, I know, they're not able to make it. And
No, I
they've
don't
been
know. I don't
nice
think
enough.
that's what he means.
They've been nice enough to, about the singing. Maybe that's what it is that you sing. Because these things are delayed. But a lot of people are not able to make it, but they still want to donate. That's great. And we really want you there too, please. It's a $40 cover. And I know that sounds steep, but it's because we're donating it. So, but for that, you get, it's like an hour, 15-minute show. It's Judy, me, Shanna Sharp, Michael Isaacs, Brooks Decker, John Bronston, and a 5-piece band, incredible band. So it's not just your average, everyday kind of, small potatoes thing. It's on a big scale, and it's going to be epic, and it's going to be amazing and empowering. And Represent.us is going to be there. So they're sending like 3 or 4 of their reps. So if you have questions that you want to ask them, they're also going to
They're also going to speak.
They're going to speak. So, and if you have questions and how to get involved on a local level, this is about a local level. So every state has its, representatives out there, and they will tell you, no matter what state you're from, how to get involved. Because it's really just about us all coming together again. That's really what it is. Things that affect us on a local level. And how
Jill, you're coming?
Jill Cohen. Oh, you'll love it. You would love this. Everybody loves this, no matter what side. Because really, I think everybody can agree on this. Everybody is exhausted. We are exhausted from fighting. We're exhausted from being discouraged. We're exhausted from not talking to each other over stuff that.
I'm just exhausted from reading ridiculous things like so-and-so passed a non-abortion bill. So-and-so says gay people. Like, can we just stop?
Stop.
Like,
it's not important.
No one cares, really.
But really, what
can
got
we
my attention,
actually focus on like healthcare and
number one thing in the country, healthcare.
Focus on immigration. The economy is doing really fantastic right now, but it's an easy. It's obvious why it's doing fantastic, but.
Do you want to know something I heard today yesterday that was so amazingly interesting? They have to pass this new seasonal worker thing because what's happening is all these resorts, farms, all kinds of organizations across the country are so strapped for employees that they're asking the administration to please pass the seasonal workers law so that they can actually have people from other countries come in and work the farms. Oyster shucking, this is one of the places. These are farms, oyster shucking, hotels. They have more jobs than they have people to do them. And Americans, they said this right on the news, Americans will not do these jobs. These are jobs that Americans will not do. So it's not about taking jobs from Americans and giving them to foreigners. They are asking, please, these are companies, please pass this. We have no one to work our fields, no one to work our hotels, no one to work these oyster shucking places. So this is, hopefully they're going to pass it. It sounds like they're going to do it. This is the kind of thing. It's one thing to say, oh, don't let anybody in. We understand there's a way to do it where there's legalized immigration. We're all for that. All of us have parents. Judy is from another country. Judy is from Cuba. She was born in Cuba and has lived here most of her life. But my parents are from Italy. Most of us, our parents are from somewhere else or our grandparents. So I think this is a great way where I start to see where things are starting to work.
And, I just wanted also to say, so I did a project for school, and actually a few, like 2 weeks ago for, it was an analytics project, but I found comfort in, I know this is probably, it sounds bad that I found comfort in it, but if we think because we're so politically inundated with the news and it's constant, it's like, I feel like every second something ginormous is happening.
Right.
That I'm just like, can I just go on Facebook and like watch people bake some cake or
I know.
cook some like meat sauce. Like I can't. I really
want to get back to our lives.
Yeah, I'm like
That's
exhausted.
Really
I feel like I live like on a high blood pressure level all of the time.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
But I did this this project on Brexit, and if it's comforting to anyone at all, so Brexit is that nickname came from Britain and exit. and then they put it together, Brexit. They, every country has this. Every country, wherever you go, it's always there. They always find a way to divide and conquer. It's across.
You just said it, divide and conquer.
It's across the board.
That's
these poor people. Can you imagine? They didn't even know what they were voting for, and the right side, the more conservative side, was making it seem like they were voting on taking on sovereignty and taking control of their borders, like immigration control. And the left side was saying, well, we can't do this. It's gonna hurt the economy. But they didn't really understand what it meant. And then they won. They voted to leave the EU. And now they're in this place where they're gonna
financial collapse is imminent.
It's really insane because they can't come to an understanding on how the terms of how they're going to leave the EU. And then they're just going to, because they can't come to an understanding, they're going to leave without an agreement. And then what's going to happen London is the second, I think, biggest financial market in the world. So, the reason it's because it's part of the EU. There's all of these braids, think of a braid. There's all of this braid.
And everything's connected.
Yeah.
Globally, everything is connected. And if things start to unravel on one end, it's like when you're knitting and you just start to pull something and you're pulling it. It seems like the whole thing is together, but it's slowly unraveling.
So the Europe is the biggest. Europe is the biggest export for London. So that means London exports most of its things, most of whatever they make to Europe. So it's just going to mess their whole GDP. It's going to mess up it's just such a mess. And these people went to the voting booths thinking that they were voting for something completely different.
Right. And I want to go back to something that we're talking about the United States. Yes, the economy is doing well depending on what side where you are. But I got to say, let's talk about our taxes. I got back 65% less this year. And I had to, and I hate to even admit this, but I had to give up my health insurance 3 months ago, because I could no longer afford it. And I've had health insurance for a long, long time. And this is the highest it's ever gone. And it's just sad that we're in that place. There's no reason for it. There are ways to come together as a country without fighting. Okay, we know what even socially, even if we socially stayed on our own sides for a minute, I think that everybody agrees that we want to be productive as a country, that we want to be seen. This is very important to me. I want to be seen as the America we used to be seen as. Because right now, because I deal with a lot of tourists in my business. I'm in the entertainment and hospitality business, and you would not believe what tourists are saying. And that makes me sad, because America used to be a place that everybody had in high regards. And so we have to come together. We the people, I keep saying this. That was written. That's the first line. We the people. So we are the people. Let's take our country back in the right direction let's stop fighting and let's work together. And so this organization, tell everybody the name of the organization again.
Represent.us.
And you can go and look at their video, and it's really great. Okay, so let's go back, because we have about 15 minutes left. Let's go back and see if anybody have any questions, or the economy has been, Annette Zito said, the economy has been continually doing well for many years. Not a new thing, as much as people would like to believe it's a recent change. Yeah, you start that, and it's, it continues to go. Okay, Rena, my cousin Rena, I'm with you, Rena. Yes, we are completely exhausted from fighting. Exhausted. Everybody's blood pressure is up. Maria Filiamani has joined us from, she's out in Jersey. We were just talking about some great Jersey laws. And Julie Angelina, she's out in Australia. Julie, how are you? Long time no see. Jill Cohen, Tom Grounds has joined us. Hi, Leah. Your friend Leah joined us. Hi, Leah. So a lot of our Jersey friends have joined us.
Michael Rizzo is up there.
Michael Rizzo. Hi, Michael Rizzo. So we want to remind you again, Judy has put together this amazing benefit that a lot of us are part of and very proud. Leo, thank you for posting that video. And I love that they, on the video, they take Democrat, Republican, and they just crumble it. Because it's like, let's start from the beginning. Let's remember what our country is. Enough with the dividing. I'm like over it. The benefit is May 17th. It's a Friday night. It's at the Triad. It's called Stage 72 at the Triad. The Triad, super easy to get to. It's on 72nd Street. I had it written 158 West 72nd Street between Broadway and Columbus, I'm pretty sure. And if you just go to Triad, TRIADNYC.com, you will be able to get to our show. And the show is at 9:30, right? But get there at 9. So doors open at 9. Get there, order your drinks, sit in your seat, get comfortable, and boom. It's going to be an amazing opening. Everybody is singing a few songs. The Brooks Decker, Shanna Sharp, Michael Isaacs, myself, Judy, a 5-piece band. It's going to be incredible. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What is something else that people can do to, in their hometowns? What is, like, if you guys are Joe Gullah, hi Joe Gullah, attractive, intelligent, and talented. Hi Joe, thank you. I support her. I bumped into her at Starbucks. Who did you bump into at Starbucks? I just stopped by to say, oh, okay. So funny, Joe. Thank you, Joe, for the vote of confidence. All right, Krista Kelly has joined us. I saw, there's Dominic Pupa. Dominic Pupa is famous in our circle here of friends. And also I saw Kia Nelson. She's out in Philly, city of brotherly love, where the independent city. So there's a lot, and we in the Northeast, we tend to get very involved in politics, and in the South they have their.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. We live I feel so lucky. I live here because we really do live in a bubble. As soon as you travel to the Midwest, it's definitely different. Mm-hmm. And it's different, and it's different, not in a bad way. It's just that we're more of a mecca here. So
right, and we have different needs than we have
a melting pot of people. We're used to living with each other. We're used to, working with each other. Right. We're used to having dinner with each other. It's very different. But at the end of the day, we're
all the same.
We're all the same.
We have to pay our bills.
Yep.
We love our families. We have people to take care of and people that want to take care of us. Mm-hmm. We have kids in school. Education, super important. Those of us that are getting older worry about our retirement. Most of the people I talk to that are my age, that's what our fears are, running out of money. And how are we going to sustain that? We're getting to those ages where how much longer can we work? Those are, and then your age group is in a completely different, you have kids, you've gone back to school, your kids are in college. That is a whole other ball of wax. If you're a young person, you're just coming out to getting to vote. When I was first starting to vote, I was just like, I wanted to know everything. But, and a lot of the kids now are starting to get to that place where they want to know more. And I respect that. So politics has turned out to be a dirty word. Let's change that. Okay, so we're starting a conversation here. Let's make politics an exciting thing. It's like saying sports. It's like sports.
That's also dirty.
Well, it can be, but it's exciting. You get people that look, I'm a Red Sox fan. Everybody knows that, but I live in New York. So I always am back and forth with people that are, New Yorkers. However, we love each other. We all live in New York and we get along really well, but we'll talk baseball. We'll talk hockey. So that's kind of what it would be great to start doing that with politics again, where politics is just love of country. How can we continue to fuel the Constitution? And at the same time, we watched that Ruth Bader Ginsburg movie. Oh my God. What was the name of that movie that on the basis of sex? Mm-hmm. Incredible. It's on Netflix. It's her life story.
No. It's not her life story. It's just it's her through a particular case. I guess the biggest case where she disputed gender discrimination, but for a guy. To make a point.
And it's a lot of it talks about how she came about, and it's just mind blowing. Whether you like her or not, we love her, but
how could you not like?
Well, some people are threatened by that.
She's amazing.
Some people are threatened by that, and you know what? Okay, that's your thing. I'm not even going to judge that. You have stuff you'll work on. You'll work on it. But because I do believe in the good of mankind. That's me. But that's a great movie. There's so many amazing movies out there and so many amazing documentaries. Try to educate yourself. Listen to.
I watched that movie twice.
And you cried all the way through it. I cried in the first 10 minutes.
I think she's spectacular.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And now, look, also I listen to a lot of people in Ohio, like for some reason I have a lot of friends that live out there, and I also listen to and their thing is, like they're afraid to lose these jobs that they've had forever in these plants. Another big thing that's happening in the Midwest that's so sad is drug addiction. And I am so thrilled that did you hear about this drug company that they found all these people guilty? This drug company, because they were working with doctors that were writing these prescriptions. And they finally, it's the first time it's ever happened where they've actually sent the CEOs and the people that work for these companies, they're sending them to jail. Now we're starting to get something done. And in Ohio, there's in the Midwest especially, and I think Vermont as well, there's a lot of different states that are normally these great states where people can prosper. If you work hard, you can have the American dream. But their kids are dying. They're dropping like flies because of addiction, because of these drugs that are out on the street. And so this is a big concern of a lot of people that I talk to that have kids that are teenage age or in their 20s. And so this is another thing that we can change on a local level. Get to your town hall meetings. I know my cousin Marisa certainly does. And a lot of my family is very passionate about local level. Same thing with religion and faith. Doesn't matter. We can be from different religions, but we all believe something, even if it's just the universe out there, it cares about us, is looking out for us. Love is universal. Kindness is universal. Let's do that with politics so that passion for country is universal. We got about maybe 4 minutes left to our show. So what do you think, Judy? What do you want to throw in there?
Nothing. Come to see the show. It's going to be wonderful. And check out their website and watch that 12-minute video. It's really, really informative. And then you can just go around and look at, they have a lot of other links. I know that recently when I reached out to them, they went to an Unrig Summit in Nashville.
I love that.
Tennessee.
In Nashville, that's great because Nashville could use that. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of
everyone
friends.
Can use that.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's a place that might lean very right, where there's now what's happening.
But it's not about right or left.
It's
just unrigging everybody.
Right.
Even Jersey has, because the right states rig it right and the left states rig it left. So it's not about right or left. It's literally just about there's 100 people here. 70 of them voted for this. That means that majority rules. This is what should be.
Why, right. And why is only 12 of them get what they want?
Right. Because it's very basic. So it literally, there's so many things that should change.
And they've already changed so many things. So if you go to their website, it already shows you things that they have made a difference in. One of the big things is gerrymandering. Can you explain gerrymandering? A lot of people don't know what that means.
It's just when they draw districts to benefit a party.
Okay.
Basically. Like when my daughter was going to school here, when I lived in New York, she would have to have gone to a school here, in my district. But because I didn't want her to, I needed to have someone, give me an address so that she can go to a better school. And whether you lived on the Upper East Side, which is where she went to school, or the lower, let's say Chelsea, that's all the same district, which doesn't make any sense because the Upper East Side
them.
and
because
Chelsea
there's more money in those. That's what it is. There are more money in those districts,
far away from each other.
So their public schools have better education, which is it should be across the board. It should be all the same. And so there are districts that are less wealthy.
But that's not gerrymandering. I mean, this was an example of gerrymandering for
this particular
for education. But gerrymandering is actually with politics. So
right, and voting.
Politicians, there's a really good case about gerrymandering. I think it was in Alabama. I read about this. I think and actually, I think I read about it when I was researching Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because it was Justice Scalia that voted against it. So there are certain states, I think, that needed to get approval, like court approval, to make any changes to the voting districts, because they were found many years ago, prior to 1960 something, they were found to be very discriminatory with the way that they drew districts. So because of that, they passed a law that they needed to get approval from courts before making any changes.
Which is, they should.
And so they made a change. I don't know if I'm forgetting the facts, but the point is that it went before the court, and Justice Scalia was on there, and he was actually the deciding vote, and he said, no, they don't need to change it. They can just do whatever. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg wrote a dissenting argument. Dissenting means that she didn't agree with it, and she was in the minority, so she wrote an argument as to why she didn't agree with it, which obviously I agree with her. But so gerrymandering is huge, and it's constant, and both sides do it.
But I want to bring something up quickly because we're running out of time. Okay, so you just said Justice Scalia and Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. By the way, they were always on opposite sides of what they voted on.
Not always. They didn't always agree, but they weren't always on opposite sides.
Okay, thank you. But they were great friends. They were amazing friends. She actually loved him. She said she loved him, and he was funny, and he said he loved her. Mm. And they loved each other. And I always think of them. How much time, Jimmy?
1 minute.
Thank you, Jimmy. Okay, so we're going to end on that. Let's come together as a country. We care about our country. So remember, represent.us. We're doing a benefit at the Triad, May 17th, 9:30. Get your tickets. 9. Get it there at 9. Okay. We love and appreciate you. Come back next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, for What's the Story with Maria. Good night. Say good night, Judy.
Bye.